Welcome to Secret Story. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, put likes, share with friends and subscribe to the channel. My Aunt Eleanor is loaded. She lives in a big house packed with antiques and works of art. I was never quite sure what the relationship between my parents and Eleanor was, or what made me her nephew, but I knew she wasn't a direct blood relative. I was never sure if she'd been married, but there were rumors there'd been men in her life. For some reason, she seemed to take a liking to my father, and my parents wanted to make sure that when Eleanor met her maker, something of her wealth came their way. They were constantly saying that we must keep Aunt Eleanor happy. I was 25 and living away from home in a flat when my father called me. He told me that Aunt Eleanor wanted help with cutting up a dead tree in her garden which had fallen over, and carrying the logs to a woodpile. That made sense as we lived the closest to Eleanor and I was a guy who kept himself fit and strong in the gym. Of course I agreed. I called at my parents' house on the way there. My father gave me an odd look and a wink, as if he knew something I didn't, and as always he reminded me to keep Aunt Eleanor happy. So off I went to Eleanor's house. I'd last seen Eleanor a couple of years back. I guess she was in her mid-50s, about 10 years older than my parents. She was a quiet-spoken, reserved woman. She'd once obviously been a beauty. She'd kept her looks, and age had given her an air of elegance and sophistication. She had a friendly face, brown eyes and perfectly styled dark hair down to her ears. She greeted me with a warm smile and thanked me for coming. But as she thanked me, I felt her eyes exploring me. I'd often looked at girls like that, and now I knew just how they felt. She turned to lead me into the house. I followed her. I got on with the job of cutting up and shifting the tree. It was a blazing hot day. I hadn't had much success with girls, but I could tell were certainly having an effect on Eleanor. I could all but feel Eleanor's eyes. Even more than that, as she brought me cold drinks from time to time, my interest in Aunt Eleanor was steadily rising. It was a hot day, but it wasn't just because of the sun that I was getting hotter and hotter. Eventually, I finished moving the tree. Eleanor came up to me and thanked me profusely. "You've worked very hard and got all hot and sweaty," Eleanor said. "Why don't you go and take a shower?" I wasn't saying no to that. Eleanor led me upstairs to the big luxurious bathroom. She left me to it. I discovered the key to the bathroom door lock was missing, but I guessed that as she lived alone, she hadn't bothered to replace it. As you can imagine, suddenly, the shower curtains opened and into the shower stepped Eleanor. She was more than twice my age, but right then, I didn't care. I'd been without a girl for some weeks. That's what boys like, isn't it? You looked so beautiful. I realized she'd surreptitiously opened the bathroom door. Then she giggled like a little girl. "Your dad looks good too." I felt as if an electric shock hit me. I was fast learning about Aunt Eleanor, and what that odd look and wink my father had given me signified. But I didn't care. Eleanor took me by the hand and pulled me toward her bedroom. It was as sumptuous as her bathroom, with a big, wide double bed in the middle. Then, after delicious minutes, Eleanor said, "You were even better than your father." We chatted. She wanted to know all about my life, my habits. I kept her happy. "Will you do something for me?" Eleanor asked. I remembered my parents' exhortation to keep Aunt Eleanor happy, but in addition to wanting to please my parents, okay. What? I didn't reply, but I guess my face gave her the answer she wanted. "Was that good?" Eleanor asked. "You just like your father. Did he teach you?" I didn't answer her. We left it at that for that day, as my parents were expecting me to drop in at their house on my way back. She gave me the red one to keep. "To help you remember me," she said as she handed them to me. I guess she knew how I'd be remembering her. "You'll be back again, won't you?" were Eleanor's parting words as I left her. "Did you keep her happy?" were my father's first words to me when I arrived at my parents' house. "I certainly did," I replied, giving him the kind of wink and look he'd given me that I think my father understood. Tob continued, Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. No part of this story can be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means without written permission from the author. All characters are fictitious, and any similarity to actual people, living or dead, events, or locales is entirely coincidental unless otherwise stated. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, put likes, share with friends and subscribe to the channel. Study 2, welcome to Secret Story. The wheels touched down, sending up smoke as they gripped the runway. We rolled across the tarmac to the concourse and our gate. There was the usual announcement across the PA system. We will be arriving at gate B31, baggage will arrive on carousel A. I packed up my carry-on and computer bag as the plane stopped. I sat back and took a deep breath, reflecting on how it had been a long, successful 2-week trip. I had closed 2 huge deals for the company. I was so excited to tell Ally about them and what they meant to us, and our future, that we could finally fulfill our dream of buying the house on Fulton Avenue. We wanted so badly. The owners, a retired couple, held the place for us for a year. With the commissions and bonuses from these 2 sales, we would be able to finalize the deal, and it would be our new home. I waited until everyone had left the plane before I got up. I gathered my coat, carry-on, and computer case, making my way up the aisle and off the plane, thanking the attendants and captain on the way out the door. As I walked down the concourse, I texted Ally, I caught an early flight and am on the way home from the airport. I was almost 5 hours early arriving. I knew that Ally had a dinner planned with her 2 best friends tonight, so I would be home long before she was. As I got in my car, I sat there for a minute. I looked at my watch. It was only 2 p.m., so I thought I could stop at the office and drop off all the paperwork and clear my desk for the weekend. If we could get the orders processed today, I would finish the month with a big bang. I drove to the office. As I walked in, the word must have spread already. I was greeted with cheers led by Sarah, my assistant, and the rest of the office. Then my boss Jake came out. Case, what an awesome couple of weeks for you, congratulations man. These 2 sales are the biggest the company has had in a long time. Excellent job. He was excited for me. Thanks, Jake. It was a great trip, so much fun, and after a year's work, we finally landed them. I was so happy. We shook hands. No, Case, you got them. All the arduous work you put in, got it done. Congratulations. Well, thanks, it was worth all the work and travel, so now it's time to celebrate. Wishing Ally was with me right then, I went into my office and worked for an hour, finishing all the paperwork and completing the orders. I logged on to my portal to see what my commissions and bonuses would be. As I opened my page, a big congratulation flashed on the screen, and there they were. My commissions. Order number 1, $11,343. Order number 2, $14,128. Wow, I couldn't believe it. $25,461. It was more than I expected. My heart was pounding. Ally was going to flip out when I told her. Finally, Fulton Avenue was ours. I saw a button flashing on the screen, big deal bonus. I had never closed a big deal that qualified for this bonus level before, much less 2 big deals. So, I wasn't sure about the bonus amounts. My heart raced with excitement as I clicked on the button. My excitement was like a kid at Christmas opening his big present. The bonus page opened, and there they were. I gasped aloud, oh my God. 2 bonuses, 1 for each deal. $15,000 each, $30,000 total. Wow, I had no idea. I couldn't believe I had earned over $55,000 on these 2 deals alone, which was on top of my $10,000 a month salary. God, I am so glad I took this job. When Jake offered it, I took a deep breath. I thought about Ally and the house on Fulton Avenue. It's all ours now, baby. It is ours. Yes. I yelled aloud that I pulled out my phone and called Ally, but it went straight to voicemail. I hung up. I didn't leave a message, I didn't want Ally to hear the excitement in my voice. I noticed it was now 4:30 p.m. I packed up my stuff and stuck my head in Jake's office. "Hey, I am heading home, have a good weekend." "Case, splendid work on this trip. I know it was long, but you did it. Look, my wife is out tonight. You told me Ally was out with her friends. Let's you and I go out and celebrate with a couple of drinks and dinner together." "Yeah, sure, that sounds great. Let me go home and clean up, and I'll meet you at 7 p.m., okay?" "Great, let's meet at the Blue Lighthouse on Reynolds Road. They have a great happy hour till 8 p.m. They are known for their fabulous steaks." "Okay, I haven't been there before. Text me the address and I will see you there." I turned and walked out, telling everyone, "Have a good weekend." I was so happy and excited to see Ally and tell her everything. She was going to freak out over finally being able to buy our house. On my way home, I swung by Fulton Street. I parked across the street and looked at our new home. I took a couple of pictures on my phone to show Ally later. I was so excited thinking of our lives 5 years in the future. Ally and I would have a couple of kids. I am out cutting the grass. Ally comes home from the grocery store. I stopped and helped her bring in the bags. Then finished the yard. We are the picture-perfect family. I was brought back by the buzzing of my phone. It was Ally text, "I see you called, been in meetings all afternoon. Heading out here in a few to meet the girls for dinner and dancing, I'll be home about 11 p.m. Wait up for me, I have a special present for you. Love you." My text, got back early, went to the office. I'm on the way home. Jake and I are meeting at 8 p.m. for dinner. I'll be home by 11 p.m. too. Exciting news, I love you. Ally text, "Okay, have a good dinner." What's the exciting news? My text, "You must come home to me to find out." Ally text, "Can't wait, got to go, see you later. I love you so much." I got home. There was a hint of a musty smell, but I couldn't put my finger on it exactly. The weather was nice. So I opened the house up to air the house out. That I popped open a beer and unpacked, putting all my dirty clothes in the laundry hamper. I took a shower and shaved. I dried off, spruced up a little, put on a robe, and decided to be domestic. I took the laundry hamper into the bedroom and poured all the clothes out. I started sorting them into color groups as Ally does. I never do the laundry, so I mimicked what I had seen her do. As I sorted the clothes, there were blouses, shirts, boxers, Ally's towels, and other garments that I noticed some of the were new pieces that I had not seen before. I usually buy Ally's stockings, and I have a little fetish. I bought all of Ally's. She may have treated herself to some new dainty things while I was away. I put one load in the washer and put the rest to the side for later. I picked up a set of new pieces. They were beautiful, moss green, that I thought it odd that she had bought them. She had always said, "The string between it makes me uncomfortable." She may have changed her mind, which would be okay with me. I looked at the label, Fleur of England, confirming they were expensive and came from Nordstrom. I was shocked that she would pay so much for them without talking to me. Ally and I had looked at some of these brands at Nordstrom's a while back, but we decided that as beautiful as they were and as good as Ally would look in them, they were just too expensive. I doubted she would have spent the money on these. So the question was, how did she get them? I picked up the matching. To my surprise, it was soaking wet. I thought it odd. Ally must have worn it yesterday and rinsed it out. Wow, it was more pungent than usual, almost intoxicating. There seemed to be something mixed in as I smelled them, making them smell different. I saw a light purple like the other one. It was almost dry, so I smelled it too. There was the same scent on it but not as strong. My curiosity was taking over. I needed to know what else was on the two thongs. I went into the kitchen and got a Ziploc bag. I put the new dirty thongs in the bag and set it aside. My heart was beating fast, and I had a sinking feeling in my gut. I was sure I knew what the other scent was, but I would have my chemist friend James at work test them on Monday to confirm my suspicions that I also noticed there was a pile of bed sheets lying on the floor. I pulled them up and found the bottom sheet. I saw a large wet spot in the middle as I held it up. I spread the sheet out over the washer and dryer. My heart sank, and I suddenly felt like I would throw up. My hands started to shake as I looked at the mess in front of me. Right in the middle of the sheet was a large wet stain. I dared to lean over and smell it. My head almost exploded with jealousy. Something was certainly going on that I was not going to like. The evidence was compelling. But I was not jumping to any conclusions until I had more information. As I looked at the stained sheets, I saw all the signs, and that thought filled me with dread. Ally had been cheating on me, something I never thought she could or would ever do to me. Evil thoughts that I didn't want to think about now filled my head. There had to be some explanation. So as hard as it was, I would wait until I knew more information before doing anything. As I stood there looking at the stained sheets, I thought about today and the great 2 weeks and 2 fabulous sales I had made. I thought about the huge commission and bonus I earned. It was a lot of money for us. Then there was being away and missing my loving wife every minute I was gone. Then there was Fulton Avenue. Then there was this mess. It was crushing, making everything else just a grain of sand compared to the magnitude of this potential problem. As damning as things looked, I had to wait for confirmation. I had to know, and I would know on Monday afternoon. I would deal with it all then. I decided that this weekend with Ally would be our usual, welcome love fest like we have when I must travel the 2 weeks each month. I would have to dig down deep, bring out my acting skills, and bury my doubts, fears, and anger until Monday. Or I would try, the first wash load finished. I pulled it out and put in the second load. I put the first load in the dryer. I picked up the baggie and walked into my office, putting it in my briefcase. I sat at my computer, looking at the blank screen, shaking my head. What was going on? I was very confused that I logged into Ally's email, perusing her messages for anything that looked suspicious, and I didn't see anything, so I moved on. It was a little after 6 p.m., so I went to shower and dressed for my dinner with Jake. That I stood under the shower, thinking about what I had discovered. Suddenly my emotions overtook me. My face dropped into my hands, and tears rolled down my face. The thought crushed me that Ally could be cheating on me. I just didn't understand why. We have been so much in love, doting on each other our whole marriage. We have planned our future life together. We were talking about kids again and the house on Fulton Avenue. We have had a wonderful life, and now this. My God, what the has happened? I tried not to overreact, but it broke my heart. I felt so sad. I cried hard, mixing my tears with the shower water. My body trembled in total dismay. I stood, letting the shower pound on me as I slowly calmed myself. I could not let anyone know I suspected anything was happening. Not Jake and certainly not Ally. I dried off, dressed, and drank another beer. Before I left, I put the sheets in the washer by themselves, letting them wash while I was gone. I solemnly drove to meet Jake at the Blue Lighthouse on Reynolds. It was in an area of town I didn't often visit, so I had never been to this club. As I pulled up and parked, I sat in my car with my eyes closed, gathering my thoughts, composing myself. That I opened my door to step out. I looked up and saw the club door fly open. 2 couples came rushing out the door, hanging on each other, laughing, and having a fun time. I didn't look at them, trying to focus on my attitude as I walked toward the door. The couples were behind me. As I reached for the door, I heard it. A familiar voice. Ally's voice. Come on, quit fooling around, Stacy. Get in the car. We have to go. I must be home by 11 p.m. I froze. Stunned, I looked back and saw the back of Ally's head as she ducked into the back seat of an SUV with a man getting in behind her. Shocked, I could not move. My heart was pounding, so I leaned against the door frame. I had a tough time breathing. I wanted to see if that was Ally and who she was with, but I didn't want her to see me. It took everything in me to stop myself from turning around and yelling at Ally. Then running to them, punching the guy out and dragging my wife home. I fought my angry desires. I took a deep breath, stood tall, and moved through the door, letting them go as I looked for Jake, as if I hadn't seen them at all that I paid for my $10 cover and looked around. I saw Jake sitting at the other side of the bar, nursing a beer. He was looking around, I guessed for me. He saw me and waved. I walked toward him. We met in the middle of the room and shook hands. He didn't seem as happy to see me as earlier today. I instantly wondered if he had seen Ally with the other man and felt uncomfortable. "Hey, Jake, how are you doing?" I ordered a beer from the bartender. "Doing okay, I guess," he seemed a little down. "What's the matter, man? You were so upbeat earlier." It was a momentous day and a great 2 weeks. Did something happen? Jake looked at me with sadness in his eyes. I knew then he had seen Ally with her friend Stacy with their dates. He was conflicted just as I would be, not knowing what he should do, tell me or not. I took control. "Hey, I'm starving, let's get a table. You said there are great steaks here. And I need one." Trying to keep things as light as I could that I was boning up for the discussion I knew we would have. "Okay, yeah, they have an awesome ribeye here." We moved to a booth toward the back of the club. We sat drinking our beers as the waiter came up, and we ordered a bucket of beers and some of their signature fried pickles. As we waited for the food, we talked shop, and Jake kept saying how proud he was of me for booking these 2 huge accounts. "Case, you did an incredible job landing those accounts." As it turns out, these 2 accounts could make up as much as 25% of the annual division revenues. "These are great wins for you and the company." "Thanks, I am proud of what I accomplished and how good it is for the company. The commissions and bonuses are incredible." Ally will be shocked when I tell her later tonight. I saw Jake flinch when I mentioned Ally. "Case, I spoke to Michael after you left this afternoon. Man, I am so excited for you. Michael asked me to tell you about something we have been working on for a while now." I looked at him with muted excitement. "So? What's up?" "Case, we are promoting you to a new position, Chief Account Manager." "What? Are you kidding me? That's incredible." My problems with Ally vanished for the moment. "Yeah, it's a position we have wanted to add for a long time, but we didn't have the right person for the job, but we do now. It is you, Case." "Wow, Jake, that is fantastic. Thank you so much. Ally will be so happy." I said that before I thought about the elephant in the room. I saw Jake's face drain again when Ally's name came up. "So, what does that mean exactly?" "Well, you will receive a 30% salary increase, a luxury company car, BMW, or Mercedes or an equal. We will cover 100% of the vehicle cost and operating expenses, and we gross up your income to make sure it costs you nothing. You will also become a stockholder in the company with a stock grant equal to 50% of your salary that will vest over 5 years. You will also receive stock bonuses based on your annual performance." "Gosh, that is all amazing, Jake. So what are my responsibilities?" "Patience. Patience, in a minute. There are 2 more big benefits you will also participate in: the Executive Profit Bonus Program. There is a bonus based on the company's annual profits, and you could receive an annual bonus at the end of the year equal to as much as your full annual salary." "What? Are you kidding?" "Yep, it was 50% last year, and with your new accounts, the bonus should be a lot higher this year." Jake was smiling again. "Finally, you receive 5 weeks of paid vacation. Add to that, you receive a 1-month vacation salary bonus. We want you and Ally to take a month's break each year for yourselves, to recharge and have some fun, and we want to pay for it." My God, Jake, this is all amazing. Wow, I feel like I want to hug you. We laughed as the beers and fried pickles arrived. We munched on them and drank our beers. I thanked Jake again. I was buzzing with all this good news. What a great business day. But what a horrible personal day. Okay, what are my responsibilities? Well, we haven't worked all of that out, but there are 3 key things I can tell you now. 1. You will maintain your current clients and develop new key corporate accounts. 2. You will be our key major account sales trainer, and your goal is to teach our senior sales reps to capture these large accounts. 3. You will head the sales development team. This new team is focused on elevating our company in the eyes of potential customers. Right now, you will have a blank check to develop that strategy or strategies. Wow! Is all I can say. I am flattered that you and Michael feel I can do all of this. I will promise to do the absolute best job I can. I won't let you down. Monday, we will all get together and talk over more details. I will show you your new office and introduce you to the company staff in your new position. Then we will roll out your new team. On Wednesday, there will be a celebration party at the boss's house for you and Ally. Jake looked at me. His eyes changed as he said Ally's name. That I sat looking at Jake, as the elephant in the room came out again. His expression changed from happy to sad again. Suddenly all the joy that had been in the room was sucked out. And the air was dead. What's the matter, Jake? You have that same look now you had when I came in. This is a happy time. What's going on? I knew he was struggling with how to tell me. The waiter showed up again, and we ordered ribeye steaks with all the trimmings. I ordered a bottle of good red wine and 2 glasses of Cristal champagne, any for a celebratory toast. As Trent the waiter walked away, Jake looked at me. He had a serious look on his face. Jake was hurting for me. Knowing what he saw, and him having no idea I knew about Ally being with another man, he was struggling with how to tell me that. He started rubbing his hands together as he looked up at me. Case, I have to tell you something painful for me to say. His voice was very shaky. I looked at Jake, waiting. Jake, you look terrible. What is it? Just say it. I needed Jake to get it out. I sat back and waited for what I knew he would say. Case, I don't know how to tell you this. When I came in here tonight, I saw 2 couples kidding around, dancing, and kissing each other. I thought they were a little loaded, so I didn't pay any attention to them. Then the 2 women walked past me going to the ladies' room, and I got a better look at them, and I realized I knew one of the women. He swallowed hard. Case, it was Ally. Man, I was shocked. Ally was all over the guy. They danced and kissed like lovers. I moved closer to them, so I could hear them talking. They were all kidding around. Then one of the guys said, "Let's get out of here and go to my place." Then I heard Ally, "Come on, let's go. We only have a couple of hours. I must be home by 11 p.m. I looked at my watch. It was 8 p.m. I knew you would be here about now. They got up and left a couple of minutes later, just before you walked in. I prayed you didn't run into Ally in the parking lot. I looked at Jake with shock on my face. It had to be as painful for Jake to tell me what he had seen as it was for me to hear it. He was a good friend and my boss, and I respected his honesty. As he told me what I already knew, Trent came with our hot juicy steaks. He served them, but neither of us had much of an appetite at the moment. He had also brought 2 glasses of Cristal and a bottle of red wine. I looked at Jake. Thank you for being so honest with me. I did see them as they left but wasn't sure if it was Ally. I thought I heard her voice. I looked back but didn't see her. So, you have confirmed my painful suspicion. I don't know what is going on, but you can be damn sure I will find out. We tried to eat, but our appetites had vanished. We picked at our food. The realization that Ally was cheating on me filled my stomach with bile, and I wanted to vomit. I drank the last of my beer and slugged down a glass of good red wine. Jake did the same, and I poured each of us another glass. We were quiet for a few minutes. Jake was looking at me, worried if I was okay. What a day of mixed emotions, incredible highs, and the profound depth of lows. Once the shock wore off, our hunger returned, and we finally managed to eat most of the steak dinners. It was a delicious steak. Jake and I talked about the future, and I tried to focus on all the good things happening. Jake, please don't feel bad about telling me. Today when I got home, I found very incriminating signs that Ally was cheating, so what happened here confirmed what I had sadly suspected for the past 6 hours. I am crushed by what she has done. I cannot understand it and why. I am not doing anything until I know more. I am moving on as normal, just like I know nothing has happened. Case. How are you going to do that? Ally will know something is wrong. Women's intuition, you know, Jake, this has to stay quiet for now and maybe forever. I will not say anything to Ally about it for a few days to see what she says and does. I also need to know more about his name, the length of their involvement, everything. You know, I need tangible evidence. Case, my lips are sealed. If you need anything from me, please ask me. I looked at my watch. It was 10 p.m. Look friend, thanks for everything, but I need to get going. I need to be home before Ally, so I look normal when she gets home at 11 p.m. I want to be there when she walks in to see how she looks, what she does, and if I can see any real evidence. Case, I'll call you tomorrow and check on you. Be careful. I hope this is not what it looks like. We stood up and shook hands. Jake, this evening has been bittersweet. All the wonderful things you are doing for me at work are great. I am so excited about them. Then I find out that my wife is cheating on me too. It is all just surreal. Yes, I am sure it is. Case, I know you will work it all out. I promise you, Jake, whatever happens with Ally and me, I am dedicated to the company and will give you 110% in my new job. Thank you so much for your trust and friendship. I picked up my flute of crystal. This toast is to all the good things in our lives, to good friends, like you, Jake. To our great company and our great future together. Thanks for the confidence and opportunity. Jake added, to my good friend Case. May he and Ally solve this problem and survive with happiness and love. We clinked glasses together and slugged down the crystal. I have to go. Looking at my watch, it was 10:15 p.m. We hugged, and he patted my back and whispered, don't do anything rash, Case, try to work it out. I won't. I love Ally too much to kick her to the curb. I must try. Jake patted me on my back, and we walked out together. On my drive home, I thought about everything that had happened today. I decided I would just be me and tell Ally all the good things that have happened this week and what it meant for us. I might be lucky and smoke something out if Ally sees what she will be losing. I got home about 10:40 p.m. The house was dark. I parked in the garage and went inside. I went into the laundry room and pulled the clothes out of the dryer. I added the sheets while I folded the clothes and put them away for her, then put mine away. When I finished, I pulled the sheets out, folded them, and put them in the linen closet that I got a beer and turned on the TV. I sat in my chair and waited. The news came on, and a few minutes later, I heard the garage door open. Then I heard Ally come inside. Case, I'm home. I didn't move. I wanted to see how Ally looked as she walked into the room. Her hair, her face, her clothes, everything. In here, Ally came through the door smiling. She looked normal. Her hair and makeup looked natural, not too fresh. Her clothes looked worn, but not messed or wrinkled. I braced myself as I stood, smiling, taking her in my arms, kissing her. I inhaled her scent. There was that mixture again, but different, with a slight hint of a man's cologne. My body shivered as I held her tight, not wanting to deal with any of what was coming. It would be ugly and painful, and I was unsure of the outcome that I went to kiss her again, but Ally pushed me away. "What's the matter, you're different." "Oh nothing, everything is great. I am happy to see you. I have missed you so much these 2 weeks." I hoped that I hit her hard. So Ally was feeling my reaction. "I missed you too. It's been lonely this week. Even tonight wasn't all that good." I looked at her knowing what she had said was a bald-faced lie. It killed me that she would do this and lie to me straight in the face. "Sorry, who did you go out with?" "Oh, Sandy and a couple of her friends. Where did you go?" "Some club I have never been to. We danced and laughed. They have great steaks there. It was on Reynolds Road. One of Sandy's friends recommended it." "Well, I'm glad you had some fun." I wrestled with asking who Sandy's friends were but left it alone for now. I wanted a good weekend before the shit hits the fan on Monday. "Babe, I'm going to take a shower and change. Come on up in 20 minutes, and I'll be ready for you." Ally smiled at me as she turned. I walked into the kitchen to put my beer can in the trash. I saw Ally's purse on the counter. I went to the steps and heard the shower running. I saw her phone in the pouch on the side. I pulled it out and looked at it. What was her password? I tried her birthday, nothing. I tried our wedding date, bingo, and I was in. I scrolled, looking for a string from Sandy. 20 messages down, there she was. I opened and scrolled back up to the beginning of the week. There were a lot of texts, and I found one on Monday and started reading there. Sandy's text: "Hey girl, is Case out of town again this week?" Ally text: "Yes. He's gone all week again. I hate it. I get so lonely while he is gone. 2 weeks is such a long time." Sandy texts: "Can we go out again this week with my friends?" Ally text: "I'm not sure, Sandy, things got out of hand the last 2 times, and I feel terrible about it. I can't believe I drank so much and let those things happen." Sandy text: "It will be okay. Case will never find out. We can eat, dance, and have a couple of drinks, nothing else, okay?" Ally didn't respond for over an hour, but then she did. Ally text: "I can go on Friday, but I must be home by 11 p.m. Case will be there waiting for me. Just dinner, dancing and drinks, nothing else. I mean it, nothing else." Sandy text: "Okay, I get it. Just dinner, dancing and drinks. You can get home by 11 p.m., no problem." There were a lot of short texts throughout the week planning Friday night. Thursday, there was one that interested me. Sandy text: "Ted asked if you could wear one of the sets he bought you." Ally text: "I told you nothing was happening, so why would it matter?" Sandy text: "Well, he did spend $500 on those 2 sets, so I guess he thinks you should wear one for him." Ally text: "They are both dirty." No, I won't." Sandy text: "Okay, I'll tell him. He won't be happy." Ally text: "Well, I won't go out then, tell him that." Sandy text: "Calm down." Ally didn't respond to that text or the following 4 texts Sandy sent. On Friday, Sandy texted Ally around. I walked to the den and poured a large glass of Jim Beam. I set the voice recorder on and waited for her to start. Ally paused, so I decided that I should add more pain. "No waiting, Ally, get started. I want you to understand that any lies for the balance of your story and every day from here on will end us forever. The whole truth is the only way to survive. One small lie will end any chance we will survive this disaster you have created. I want you to be clear about this and fully understand what you will lose if you were to be deceitful, and do not come completely clean with 100% with every detail and answer for every question I ask without hesitation. Do you understand?" Ally nodded her head. "Yes." "No, say it, tell me again." "Yes, I understand. I'll tell you all of it, every painful minute. If you want all the gory details, I will give them to you." Tears rolled down her face that I handed her a tissue box, and I was sure we would both need them. Ally dried her eyes and took a swallow of water. Start from the very beginning. How did it start, when did it start, then continue with everything until this very moment, leaving out nothing. I want every stinking, deplorable detail of your cheating affair with your lover, Ted. Tell me now, Ally. Ally started looking away and dropped her head. No, Ally, look at me. Look me in the eyes and tell me everything. Okay. Okay, please give me a minute. She took a deep breath and another sip of water. She gathered herself, took another deep breath, looked at me, her eyes were full of hurt and sadness. She started, Part 2 is coming soon.